Back here on ESPN Las Vegas, let's get into some fantasy football as Field Yates is with us right out of the gates. Let's mention what's going on because you're a fantasy football guru, but you've paired up with Red Baron. So what do you got rolling out here?
Yeah, redbaron.com/takethefield is where you head over and you enter. It's free to enter, and you have a chance to win to play against me in a fantasy football league. So it's one person will win. They get to bring 8 friends with them, 9 challengers coming into my neighborhood trying to find a way to take me down in fantasy football. If you can do so successfully, there's some pretty sweet cash prizes available. But on top of the cash, there's a lot of pride, and we're going to have a very interactive league this year. Should be a lot of fun, some good trash talk, and some hopefully a little bit of camaraderie built amongst the group as well.
All right, let's give away some snitches here. Maybe we can get some of the secrets from Field when he drafts. Well, first of all, hometown story, Ashton Jeanty. Give me the reaction by players who were drafting fantasy football. What do they think of him? Where is he slotted?
I didn't see the Raiders draft video. Did they release one after, a lot of teams will show like behind the scenes footage. But I imagine Pete Carroll was pumped and jacked, to borrow a Pete Carroll line from many, many years ago about Ashton Jeanty, because this was the clear best running back prospect in a historically deep running back draft class. He has 0 limitations as a player. He's an excellent, excellent runner, as we know. But I remind people all the time now, whoever will listen, he was the FBS running back receiving yardage leader back in 2023 at 567 yards through the year. The reason why he didn't do much of that over last season was because you watched him drop like 230 yards a game on the ground, and there was no need to throw the football to Ashton Jeanty. The Raiders, very, very thin running back room besides Jeanty going into the draft. So a great opportunity for him to be right up there with the likes of Saquon and Bijan Robinson and Derrick Henry and Kyren Williams for most total rushing attempts this upcoming season.
Let's talk about some other top storylines with Field Yates here on Cofield Company. And one of them is Terry McLaurin. Whenever this holdout ends, if it ends, his value has to be diminished a little bit. How are people treating him?
I think people need to take a step back, because there's something that happens when a really, really respected and excellent player goes into a standoff. Is they say, get this done. This is unacceptable. Just find a way to get it done. My response to that is, yeah, no kidding, right? Like, of course, the Commanders want to pay Terry McLaurin, but if it was easy, it would have been done a long time ago. When you say that, you need to tell me the number that it takes to get done. And I'm just going to present why I think it's not. I think they should pay him, obviously. Why this is complicated, I'm surmising, is because this is a player who'll be 30 on September 15th, okay, who is awesome and was there during some of the crappy times that the Commanders had prior to last season. That being said, he's never had 1,200 or more receiving yards in a single season. It's a really, really deep wide receiver league right now. You need to peg him somewhere. DK Metcalf got $33 million per year on an extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers when he was traded away for a second-round pick. If you think that's the number for Terry McLaurin, I think it's close to it, maybe a little bit below. If you want more than that, just a reminder that's currently creeping into Justin Jefferson territory. Jefferson is signed for $35 million per year. So I love Terry McLaurin. I think he stands for all the right things. If these things were easy to do, they would have already been done, which is why this comes down to team comfort level and player willingness to accept a deal that the team has on the table.
ESPN's Field Yates with us. You want to go to redbaron.com/takethefield to get information on what he's got going on with fantasy football, including being in a league with Field and drafting against him. That's really cool. Okay, quarterback angles. First of all, with Ben Johnson, OCs matter, right? And who has the bigger impact? Yeah. Who has bigger impact from Ben Johnson moving? Is it Goff backsliding, or is it Caleb Williams rising to a point where you can actually consider him a starter in a 12-team league?
Yeah, I think it's Caleb Williams going up as opposed to Jared Goff going down, because the thing about Jared Goff is that by the end of the season, I expect him to be somewhere around quarterback 12, 10, maybe in total points scored. It's just that in fantasy football, we would rather somebody, and I'm doing this visual, who just kind of rides a steady wave, right? Preferably a wave that's a really high wave, as opposed to the guys that go up and down and up and down and up and down. And when you have a quarterback in Jared Goff who has 0 rushing upside, right? We're talking about a guy who might run for 15 yards, 1-5 next season, or not many more than that. Then you need to have an elite passing season, and you're just not going to throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns every single game. It might happen 5 times or 7 times, and you might have 8 games or 9 games over the course of the season at 17 or more fantasy points. Meanwhile, you've got players that, because they can rush for 50 yards a game, it's a 5-point advantage almost right away. So Caleb Williams should be a much improved player. I think Jared Goff will still be fine. I think there's enough sort of institutional knowledge already established for Jared Goff that while I don't think the offense is better without Ben Johnson, I think there's enough built in that they can keep things largely going how they have been.